Hello boys and girls, welcome to Mrs. Bandu's Math Movies. This video is for Course 3, Lesson 4-2. We're going to be converting units within and between the customary and metric systems. Okay, to begin with, a conversion factor is a rate equal to 1, such as 12 inches to 1 foot. They both name exactly the same amount, but in different units. So they're equal to 1 foot. All right. At this point, you might want to pause the video and go get a calculator if you try to work along as I suggest you do. If you don't, well, you don't. Okay, so here we go. My first example is I want to convert 7/10 of a mile into feet. So, since there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile, I'm going to use the conversion factor of 5,280 feet to 1 mile. Generally, the unit that I want is going to be at the top of the ratio. The unit I'm trying to change it from is going to be at the bottom of the ratio. Okay, so I'm going to write 0.7 miles as a fraction, so 0.7 miles over 1. And I'm going to multiply by the conversion factor of 5,280 feet over 1 mile. That's my conversion factor. Okay. Divide the common units. So basically I'm cross-canceling out miles and miles. You see that I have feet left behind, which is what I want in my final answer. Okay, so I end up with 0.7 times 5,280 feet over 1. That gives me 3,696 feet. So I know there are 3,696 feet in 7/10 of a mile. Okay, so again, if that was confusing to you, you might want to stop, work through the problem on your own on your calculator. Use these numbers here for check. Bring in questions if you have them. I'm going to move on to example number 2. You'll see I already have it worked out, which tells you I started once and made a couple of mistakes and they bothered me, so I had to come back. All right. A rowing team completed a 2,000 meter course at a rate of 6.84 meters per second. Convert this rate to kilometers per minute. Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. So I'm changing meters to kilometers and seconds to minutes. That means I'm going to have two conversion factors in here because I'm changing two things. Okay, so, and it doesn't really matter in which order you want to use your conversion factors. I went ahead, the way the book author set it up, they changed the distance first and the time second. It is totally arbitrary. You can decide how you want to do this. So my conversion factors are 60 seconds to 1 minute because I want to have minutes and in my answer at the bottom, okay, and kilometers to meters. Kilometers are on top because that's where I want the kilometers to appear in my answer. Okay, again, we will go over that in more detail and do some more practicing with that in class as well. So I set up what I know, 6.84 meters per second, so over 1 second, and multiply by both conversion factors, 1 kilometer to 1,000 meters times 60 seconds to 1 minute. I'm going to cancel out the common units or divide away the common units of meters and meters here, seconds and seconds here. Now I'm left with the numbers 6.84 times 1 times 60 and the label of kilometers. It's the only remaining label up there. Here, 1 times 1,000 times 1 and the label of minutes. That's going to give me kilometers per minute, which the question is asking me to find. When I do the math, I believe you get 410.4 over 1,000. It didn't give us a place to write that, but I wrote it off to the side. So I'm going to divide 410.4 by 1,000, which means I'm going to bump my decimal point 3 places to the left and get 0.4104. So the team rode at a rate of about 0.41 kilometers per minute. I rounded to the nearest hundredth. And this is just a check for reasonableness. If I round 6.84 to 7, 7 times 60, and then divide by 1,000, and I get 0.42. The answer, 0.41 kilometers per minute, is close to the estimate of 0.42, so it is in fact reasonable. Again, if you need to review this, just pause, go back through it, see if you can understand where the numbers came from. If not, make notes to yourself so that you know to ask in class. I'm going on to example number 3. And this is converting using compatible numbers. Sometimes you don't need an exact answer, so we can use compatible numbers. We want to estimate the number of feet in 147 inches. So my conversion factor here is I want feet, so that's going to be my top number. I'm trying to get rid of the inches, so it's going to be my bottom number here, because I want, in my ratio, I want feet to just 1, or just plain old feet. I'm going to round 147 inches to the nearest number divisible by 12, all right, which is 144 inches. So this is the number I'm going to use in the problem. 144 inches over 1 times my conversion factor of 1 foot to 12 inches. I'm going to cancel out the inches, and I'm getting 144 times 1 equals 144 feet. 1 times 12 equals 12. Okay? So then what I do is I divide 144 divided by 12. So there are about 12 feet in 147 inches. And again, remember, compatible numbers, as we defined earlier, are numbers that are easy to work with earlier in the year, not in this section, but anyway. Okay, and finally we want to look at converting between the systems, the metric and the customary. Okay, we want to convert 5 kilometers to miles. Okay, the conversion information will be available to you. Here they've given it to you, so I'm not going to reference a table at this moment in time. But our conversion factor is 1 mile to 1.61 kilometers. Again, I want the mile on the top, kilometers on the bottom, because in the end I want miles for my answer. So I'm going to do 5 kilometers over 1. I know that's an ugly 5, but it is a 5. 5 kilometers over 1 times my conversion factor of 1 mile over 1.61 kilometers. I can cancel out the kilometers. So 5 times 1 gives me 5, and 1 times 1.61 gives me 1.61, and my remaining label is miles. So when I divide, I get approximately 3.1 miles, so there are about 3.1 miles in 5 kilometers. Okay, a lot of information to absorb. Please be sure that you go back over this, jot down any questions or problems that you run into. I would like you to complete the 4 quick check questions. Please write down your work so that if you have done something wrong, we can problem solve and troubleshoot and understand what you were doing wrong. Okay. I will see you in class soon. Looking forward to that. Thank you.